Hello YouTube. This video is a in-progress update of work on my SH17 main battle tank, 40-ton main battle tank. Currently I'm working on the side armor in the A6 version over here to try to improve performance over vital areas, basically. You see my idea here, which is used slightly on the A5 version, is when it comes to protecting areas of your tank, there's some areas that are far less important than others. This was actually used around World War II in battleships. It was called all or nothing armor. Basically, if someone had a shot like straight into the side of this vehicle, where are they going to hit that's going to hurt the most? Like, what if they hit up here? There's nothing in here. There's nothing here. I mean, this potentially can be used in later versions or to hold fuel or something, but there's nothing really important in here. So, the armor up here doesn't need to be super strong. Though, it is 100 millimeters right now, because if someone was like at an angle like this, they could potentially bypass the very strong frontal armor by just shooting through here. So this kind of needs to be a little bit stronger. But what about the armor here? You notice the whole side of this tank is 20 millimeters. This is the A5 version. I'll show you what I'm doing on this version in a second. This whole side's 20 millimeters. But the vital area, like the crew compartment here, has a 40 millimeter plate of added protection inside to help add a little bit of extra protection here. Though 40 millimeters isn't that much, though it can be compounded significantly if a shell was to come in here, because we'd have to penetrate the 20 millimeter side skirt, the wheels, the 20 millimeter side, and this plate if it came in at that angle. But stronger angles, it's just going to go straight through this. And if we look back here at the engine compartment, there's nothing in here either. There's no ammo in here. This tank carries all of its ammunition in the turret. So as long as you keep the turret facing the enemy, they'll have to shoot this 250 millimeter turret armor to try to get the ammo. So really there's nothing back here that needs to be protected either, because if someone shoots in even a glancing blow, it's going to penetrate this 20 millimeters. And if it hits the engine, it hits the engine. Who cares? So, how do we revamp this armor to provide more protection to the crew? Well, on this tank, what I've actually done, let's get our color tool, is added different armor zones to the vehicle. I've also changed the back design just a little bit to try to use a little bit better spatial efficiency. Either way, I reduced the armor of this front part to just 80 millimeters because it doesn't seem like I ever get hit there anyway. And usually it hits the side skirt and dissipates the shell anyway. This is reduced just to 15 millimeters because if this is hit directly, 20 millimeters, 15, it doesn't matter, it's going to be penetrated. And there's nothing here for a straight on shot. Well, this plate here, directly on the side, 100 millimeters with a decently high health, so a glancing blow has a strong chance of ricocheting unless it has very high penetration against this. And then the inside part of the crew compartment is buffed up to 50 millimeters, so if a shot comes in at a strong angle to hit this rounded part of the armor. And then this back part is just 20 millimeters like before, and then just 15 back here. So, well, this basically is going to weigh exactly the same as this tank. This isn't going to save any weight. It will give us some better efficiency on the armor. What we're basically doing is we're taking the giant armor slab, and if this whole thing was like 40 millimeters, which is what it originally was, we're basically crinkling it up, folding it over on itself to make one really strong zone here, and then weakening the other zones, which I think will work quite well. This tank also in the previous version uses originally this whole glacis here was 70 millimeters, I think it was actually 60 millimeters, but I split the glacis in two, and then I buffed up the health and the armor on the front part of the glacis to 70 millimeters, and then reduced the back half of the glacis to less health and 40 millimeters. Because most likely, if someone had a shot picture like this on the front of this tank, they're going to shoot it here in the lower plate, which is what they're supposed to do, or the turret. I mean, this whole armor area here is like very small, and if they were to hit it, they'd likely hit it up here at the front, not in the back, just because of the way the picture is. And if someone was aiming down on it, that's the same. They're more likely to hit the turret or the front part than the back part. And if they do hit the back part, you know, there's nothing under the glacis. It doesn't really matter that much. But ideally, if we want to encourage a bounce, it's probably going to hit the front part of the glacis. So these are actually two different props, which I'm using that heavily on this tank design. And I think it'll work out pretty well, because this is a 42-ton tank, and it has roughly the same frontal protection as my 52-ton SH17A6 heavy armor variant, which is a... I know I said I wasn't going to work on the SH21, but I just can't help going back to it over and over again. Just a little sneak peek. I'm not going to do a full overview of the changes in this tank, but this is the absolute newest version of it. Massively increased frontal protection with spaced armor added to the turret and a brand new power plant. But it's not time for this right now. Okay, anyway, that's a good sneak peek for next time. Wish me luck on this tank design. Thanks.